Sarah and I met 12 years ago at church. I remember my first impressions about her. I remember thinking, man, she's going to make a great wife and an awesome mom to some great family someday. Little did I know, she was going to be mine. I think we knew we always wanted kids going into it. We talked a lot about a family and even adoption and all these great plans going into our marriage. We've been married for 7.5 years, and it wasn't long before Mateo was on his way, just a year or so. And man, he has lived up to the meaning of his name. It means God's gift, and he's been that. And for those of you who know him, you know that's true and beyond. He's just such a bright kid. I had this naive sense that life just couldn't get any better. We had a good marriage, a beautiful little baby boy. I was working in ministry full-time, church was good, our family life was great. And I thought, I know some people go through really tough stuff, but I don't think that's going to be our story. I think we're going to be good. But when we started trying for more children, that's when everything kind of fell apart.
So in July 2012, we found out we were pregnant again, and we were excited. I, told Hugo in a cute way, and we went through the normal things that we always do. They can't see you until you're about 8 weeks along, and so we set that appointment up and just prayed over the baby that God would keep them safe. And when we went in for that appointment, the heart wasn't beating. And when something like that happens, and the nurse doesn't quite know what to say, and Hugo and I just kind of looked at each other, trying to process what was happening, your life just kind of stops for a minute. You have to breathe and remember that God's in control, and He gives and takes away, but blessed be the name of the Lord.
A few months later, she approached me and said that she wanted to try again, and I knew that was completely of the Father. And so we prayed, and we waited, and not long went by, and we were pregnant again. What happened next wasn't any easier. We lost 2 more babies that season, so in 10 months, we had lost 3 of our kids. At that point now, we were referred to a specialist if we ever wanted to try again. We weren't sure if we ever would want to. We wanted answers, so Sarah was tested, I was tested. The good news is that we're both perfectly healthy. There's no medical reason why we lost our children, but that didn't help. It wasn't really an answer. We retreated into our home, to ourselves. We're blessed with so many close friends and family, and they did their best to talk to us and bless us and just love on us with food and taking care of Mateo and just going out of their way. But we really just wanted to be alone because we didn't know what to say or what to do.
That 10-month span of losing those 3 babies was really, really hard. The Lord provided different avenues for us to be able to be comforted. A lot of songs that were either brought to our attention or that the Lord laid on our heart through Scripture really gave us comfort, a peace, a joy, just reminded us of truth, even when we couldn't see, because that's what faith is, the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And we trusted in Him. We knew He was in control. No matter how hard that season was, we just had to cling to His promises.
So in the aftermath of those 10 months, we did a lot of recovery in different ways, but it was healthy, and we were just content being the 3 of us, Mateo, Sarah, and I. And I think there's a misconception when people hear our story. They assume that we valiantly, kind of faithfully pursued everything by faith and courageously, but the majority, I think, but one, of these pregnancies, they were all surprises. They weren't planned or scheduled. You can ask my wife, she wouldn't have had it this way. I wouldn't have had it this way. But the Lord knew what He was doing. After those 3, about a year or so went by, and we were pregnant again. And that year, in 2014, we had our 4th loss. And by that point, it's safe to say we were wrecked. After all 4 losses, we were convinced that maybe there just was no more possibilities to have kids this way. And so we looked for other alternatives, and we'd always considered adoption. And so we took that next step.
So as we were working on the adoption stuff, we had lots of classes to go through and home studies and all of that fun stuff. And we got on the list, and they told us it was just going to be a matter of time until we heard back from them, as far as there were a few different options of how we could potentially get picked and matched with a baby. But about a month later, I found out I was pregnant again. We prayerfully started lifting up this baby number 6 to the Lord, and asked Him to keep him or her safe and protected, just like we did with all the others. We made it through the first trimester. A little part of me thought, maybe I can start hoping and planning, like maybe this is really gonna happen. That was the furthest we had gotten along with any of the babies since Mateo. A little while went on, and we found out it was a girl. And even when they told us that, I was preparing my mind, like, oh, maybe they read the sonogram wrong, is everything still okay? But we let ourselves get a little more excited. We had people praying all over. There was hundreds, if not thousands, of people praying over this little miracle baby. She was very, very active, and so it was a constant reminder, like, I'm okay in here, Mom. I'm okay in here. God just kept reminding us, I'm in control, and just trust in me. Follow me. You've waited. You'll continue to wait, but I'm in control.
The day she was born, again, more waiting to see the outcome, and waiting in the room as Sarah got prepped for her C-section, just praying. It wasn't until the moment that she was delivered, this overwhelming sense of joy. We named her Lucia Hope. Lucia means shining light. Hope, of course, is the one thing we can't live without. And so her life is literally a testament to God's faithfulness. Anyone who meets her will know that God is everything He says He is.